Welcome back everyone to another episode of This Week in Comics. My name is Yule, and every week I run down comics I'm really looking forward to. But that's not all this show is. I'm gonna let you know about the top 5 comics we sold this week, right now. The top 5 this week is dominated by super exciting comics by the 2 main players in the comic book industry. Coming in at number 5, we have Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man number 799. This is the penultimate issue in the Go Down Swing story that Dan Slott's bringing us. At number 4, we have Black Panther number 172. Coming in at number 3, Booster Gold guest stars in Batman number 45. Taking the runner-up spot at number 2, Mr. Miracle number 8 by Tom King and Mitch Gerards. And to no one's surprise, the top spot goes to Action Comics number 1000. Superman cannot be stopped this week. We don't always sell Superman super awesome, but Action Comics was one everybody had to pick up. And now some comics I'm really looking forward to. First up this week, we have Hunt for Wolverine number 1. Stop me if you've heard this before. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries. One of 4-issue miniseries that Marvel's putting out concerning the Hunt for Wolverine. But I'm recommending this one to you, and definitely the one I'm most likely to pick up is this one, because Charles Soule, who writes Daredevil, and has written a bunch of other really cool comics, either from Marvel or other companies, and David Marquez, who is a fantastic illustrator for Marvel, is going to be doing this miniseries. So, I'm okay with Wolverine. These guys are really good comic creators. If you're going to buy any of the Hunt for Wolverines, this is definitely the one to pick up. Next up we have Mighty Thor number 706. This is the last issue of the Mighty Thor storyline, written by Jason Aaron with art by Russell Dauterman. At the end of the last issue, Jane Foster picked up the hammer for one last time, and she defeated Mangog. At the end of the issue, Thor, Odin's son, is cradling Thor, Jane Foster, and this issue is we're going to see the ramifications of everything. It's probably going to be very sad, a little goodbye kind of action. Maybe we'll get some hints of what's going to happen when Thor relaunches under Jason Aaron with a new illustrator. I'm looking forward to this issue. I've been enjoying all of Jason Aaron's Thor. Maybe the Jane Foster stuff went a little too long. Sometimes with Marvel stories that happens, but overall every issue has been great. Looking forward to it. Pick it up. Next up we have Thanos Annual number 1. This is the very last issue of this series, written by the guys who have been working on it lately, Donny Cates, the writer, and artist Jeff Shaw. This issue, we're going to see the Cosmic Ghost Rider recount all the horrible things Thanos has done in the past. It is definitely an issue people that have been enjoying Thanos should be picking up. I imagine it's going to be moving quick just like all the other issues, and I personally can't wait to get my hands on all of them now that the reprints are back in. Looking forward to it. Pick it up. Next up we have The Prisoner number 1. This is going to be written by Peter Milligan and artist Colin Lorimer. For those of you that don't know The Prisoner, it is a 60s British television series that I personally am very fond of. The premise is there is this spy who just up and quits, and his benefactors, his superiors, who, I don't know, they decide that they got to get the information and why he left. And so he is put on this island, and he is put in all sorts of situations to screw with his mind so that he can give up the information. And I'm really looking forward to it because Peter Milligan is one of my favorite writers that has worked in this industry, and I really like The Prisoner. It brings me back to a time when I worked at another comic store and my boss, Tony, was like, "You gotta watch The Prisoner." And man, that program blew my mind. I hope that Peter Milligan can do the same and pick up The Prisoner. I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of messing with people's minds, my last pick this week is Sleeper, Volume 1. This is a Wildstorm book that Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips did. This was one of the first times they ever worked together, even though you know them as working together all the time now. This was, again, the first time. I love this story. This book is so good. It is about a spy who is deep undercover working for the bad guys, and the only person that knows that he is not a pile of, that he isn't a bad guy, is in a coma, and he can't let anybody know, and he is so stuck. He is so in a bad position, and he has to just keep playing it, and he just gets deeper and deeper. And I really like the personal relationships he builds with the villains that he has to hang out with. If you don't know anything about the Wildstorm universe, you don't need to know. That is it. This might be one of the best Brubaker books that I've ever read him do. A lot of the stuff that he does now feels kind of the same. But man, when this came out, it was so different, it was so big. It was the reason why we get seasons in comic books these days, because this book was just so fantastic, everybody had to copy it. Pick up Sleeper, I highly recommend it. Thank you everybody for tuning into another episode, we really appreciate it. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We get a bunch of subscribers and we'd love to know what you think. Give us a thumbs up and maybe hit the notification. Also, Free Comic Book Day is coming up on the first Saturday of May. That's the 5th this year. If you aren't in Berkeley, visit your local comic store. I'm sure they're going to be giving lots of books away like we do. Again, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.